I'm completely hopeless at it. I was a really bad actor at school, and I've never been able to master the art of mimicry.
Royal drama has erupted after Princess Anne made a bold move that could end Camilla's son's royal future forever. Behind the palace walls, tensions are running high as whispers of power struggles and family rivalries take center stage. Sources say Camilla is in full panic mode, scrambling to protect her son's standing amid this shocking turn of events. But was this a calculated act by Princess Anne, or a long-overdue decision for the monarchy's future? Stay tuned, because this explosive royal twist could change the line of succession forever. The royal rift no one saw coming. For more than 40 years, Princess Anne has stood as the unwavering pillar holding up the British royal family. Known for her iron will, quiet strength, and deep sense of duty, she has never been the type to seek attention or chase after the flashing cameras. Unlike some royals who thrive in the public eye, Anne has always preferred to work behind the scenes, quietly and efficiently. Her loyalty to her mother, the late Queen Elizabeth, was unshakable, no matter the challenges or controversies that rocked the palace walls. Princess Anne understood one thing above all else: protecting the crown was the most important job of her life. She carried that responsibility with a fierce determination, always putting the monarchy's stability ahead of personal gain or fame. On the opposite side of the royal story stands Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall. Unlike Anne, Camilla did not enter the royal family with a clear or easy path. From the start, her presence sparked whispers and raised eyebrows. Many questioned her past and her motives, wondering if she could ever truly fit into the centuries-old traditions of the monarchy. Yet behind the gossip and judgment, there was a woman driven by a powerful desire, not just to find her place within the royal world, but to secure a future for her children as well. For years, insiders scoffed at the idea that Camilla had long-term plans for her son, Tom Parker Bowles, imagining she was simply looking out for her immediate family. But as time passed, more and more voices inside the palace began to realize that Camilla was quietly, carefully building a path for Tom to become part of the royal inner circle. What seemed like casual support was a carefully laid plan, a subtle but determined effort to create a legacy that would last well beyond her lifetime. The relationship between Princess Anne and Camilla has never been warm or easy. To the public, their interactions often appeared polite and civil. Smiles exchanged during official events, the kind of surface-level friendliness expected from members of the royal family. But beneath that veneer, the real story was very different. Body language told the truth in moments when cameras were off. The stiff postures, the guarded eyes, and the slight distance kept even in small gatherings. In private, their rivalry simmered with subtle barbs and quiet power struggles. Small comments meant only for close confidants, thinly veiled criticisms hidden behind polite words, and a constant push and pull for influence inside the palace walls marked their connection. It was a tense, fragile balance, one that neither woman openly acknowledged, but both felt. However, what had once been a quietly simmering tension has now reached a boiling point. Recent events have pulled back the curtain on just how deep this rivalry runs, exposing cracks in the royal facade that the public rarely sees. Behind closed doors, the polite smiles have been replaced with sharp words and unmistakable coldness. The subtle digs have grown into open confrontations. This growing conflict threatens not just their relationship, but the very stability of the monarchy they both serve in such different ways. With the battle lines firmly drawn between the unyielding Princess Anne and the resolute Duchess Camilla, the question remains: who will come out on top, and what will be the price of their clash? Now let's uncover the intense confrontation between Anne and King Charles over Camilla's secret plan. The secret meeting that changed everything. It all started behind closed doors, in the quiet, shadowy halls of Clarence House. The air was thick with tension as Princess Anne arranged a private meeting with her brother, King Charles. Those close to the palace whispered of the secret gathering, a confrontation that would shake the royal family to its core. Word had reached Anne through trusted palace insiders about a hidden plan quietly being pushed by Camilla, the queen consort. This wasn't just any plan. It was a carefully crafted scheme designed to place Camilla's son, Tom Parker Bowles, into a powerful and influential role as one of the king's closest royal advisors. To many, this move seemed like a direct bypass of tradition and protocol, a dangerous step that could blur the lines of what royal duty truly means. Anne, known for her fierce loyalty to the crown and unyielding sense of duty, was furious. The idea that family ties through marriage could suddenly override the decades-old rules of the monarchy was something she simply could not accept. In the privacy of that tense meeting, Anne didn't hold back. She confronted Charles with unwavering determination, reminding him of the sacred principles their late mother, Queen Elizabeth II, had lived by. She spoke with the weight of history behind her words. Royal titles, she said firmly, must be earned through service and commitment to the crown, not handed out because of marriage connections or favoritism. While it was true that Camilla had, over time, found her place within the royal institution, Anne made it clear that her children were a different matter altogether. They were not part of the royal family by blood, and had never been officially granted senior royal status. To treat them as equals or elevate them to such high positions would break the royal code and set a troubling precedent. Anne's voice carried a sharp edge as she delivered a serious warning to her brother. She told Charles that if he allowed this plan to go forward, if he gave in to Camilla's wishes and elevated Tom Parker Bowles into the royal inner circle, she would not stay silent. This was no empty threat. Anne intended to make her objections known, not through gossip or sensational headlines, but through the proper, formal channels of the monarchy. She warned that such a public stand could ignite a fierce royal crisis, something that could fracture the family and cause deep damage to the monarchy's reputation. The palace might find itself engulfed in turmoil, with alliances tested and loyalties questioned. Anne's words were a clear signal. The royal family must respect its traditions above personal agendas, or risk unraveling everything their mother had worked so hard to preserve. For King Charles, the meeting was a crossroads, a moment where family loyalty, royal duty, and personal desires collided. The quiet corridors of Clarence House, normally filled with history and tradition, suddenly became the stage for a battle that threatened to redefine the future of the British monarchy. As the door closed behind them, the palace held its breath, knowing that what happened in that room could set off a chain reaction no one was fully prepared for. Princess Anne's fierce stand wasn't just family drama. It was a clash of deep values with lasting impact. So, will her warning stop Camilla's ambitions or trigger a royal storm? Let's uncover the actions that pushed Anne to take such a strong stand. Camilla chooses her son over royal protocol. Queen Camilla has proven time and time again that her role within the royal family isn't just about attending ceremonies, wearing crowns, or following protocol. She's not simply a figurehead standing quietly beside the king. Instead, she's taken on real influence, making important choices that shape the direction of the monarchy. Her position today isn't just because King Charles named her queen consort, it's because she's worked her way into becoming a powerful and active voice behind palace walls. And yet, despite holding one of the most prestigious titles in the world, Camilla remains at her core a devoted mother. Her love for her children, especially her son Tom Parker Bowles, continues to guide many of her personal choices. While her royal duties keep her in the spotlight, Camilla has always tried to make sure her children never feel forgotten or left behind in the shadow of the crown. This time, it's Tom who confirmed what many royal watchers have quietly observed for years. Camilla's motherhood remains as present as ever, with Princess Catherine and Prince William announcing they would be spending less time at Balmoral this summer due to personal circumstances and the ongoing recovery process for Kate. There was an unexpected gap in the royal calendar. That absence left an emotional space within the walls of the Scottish royal estate. And Camilla didn't waste any time deciding what to do with that window of opportunity. She acted not as queen, but as a mother. In a heartfelt and deliberate move, Camilla extended a personal invitation to her son, Tom, to join her at Balmoral Castle, a place filled with deep history and quiet reflection. For generations, Balmoral has been the royal family's emotional retreat, a place where tradition and family blend in ways the public rarely sees. It's where the late Queen Elizabeth found peace, and where the royal family shared some of their most personal, tender moments away from the press and public scrutiny. Camilla's invitation was far more than a polite gesture. It was a powerful sign of how much she still values her role as a mother, even amidst her royal responsibilities. By welcoming Tom into that sacred space, she gave him more than just a seat at the royal table. She gave him a moment of peace, a place to breathe freely, and a chance to reconnect not just with her, but with himself. This quiet reunion at Balmoral carried a message. Camilla's heart remains rooted in her family, not just her crown. In a world where royal hierarchy, titles, and public image often dominate every decision, Camilla's actions stood out for their warmth and sincerity. She wasn't following tradition. She was following her heart. The Queen's decision to carve out private time for her son is a reminder that behind the glitz and gold of royal life lies a woman who still values the simple, unbreakable bond between mother and child. In this quiet but meaningful moment, Camilla showed us that being queen doesn't mean leaving behind your past or your loyalties. It means carrying them with you, finding space for love, family, and closeness, even in the most formal of settings. Behind the crown, Camilla's strength is her fierce loyalty to family. But is it just love or something more? Could a quiet agenda be unfolding? Let's unravel Camilla's subtle yet determined moves to elevate her son's place within the ever-guarded walls of the monarchy. Camilla's hidden plan for her son. Camilla has always been a master of patience and careful planning. From the early days when her relationship with Prince Charles sparked intense controversy, to her slow, steady climb toward becoming queen consort, she has known exactly how to move quietly behind the scenes. She never rushed or drew unnecessary attention. Instead, she worked with precision and restraint, like a chess player, thinking several moves ahead, always mindful of timing and influence. But lately, a new and unexpected chapter seems to be unfolding within the walls of the palace. Whispers have turned into louder murmurs, and some are now impossible to ignore. The focus? Tom Parker Bowles, Camilla's son, has been seen stepping more frequently into the royal spotlight. Sources say he has been quietly, but invited to attend important royal events, gatherings typically reserved only for those closest to the crown. More than that, Tom has reportedly been granted rare access to exclusive family-only meetings, where critical decisions and sensitive matters are discussed behind closed doors. Many palace insiders have started to wonder if this is part of a larger, carefully orchestrated plan. Is this simply a mother positioning her son for a more influential role within the royal circle? The signs point to strategic placement, an effort to gradually bring Tom into the heart of royal affairs, securing his place at the table and laying groundwork for future power and presence. But not everyone within the palace walls agrees with this quiet maneuvering. Some royal aides have expressed serious concerns behind the scenes, describing Tom's involvement as inappropriate and out of step with tradition. They worry that mixing family members who aren't direct heirs into confidential gatherings could upset the delicate balance of royal protocol and create tension within the palace hierarchy. Despite this pushback, Camilla has remained firm and unwavering in her stance. According to people close to the inner circle, she believes it is only natural for her children to have a role in family affairs. After all, they are part of the extended royal family, and their inclusion reflects modernizing influences within the monarchy. For Camilla, this isn't just about privilege. It's about securing her family's legacy and making sure her children are not sidelined in a world that has long excluded them. However, what Camilla did not foresee was the intense resistance coming from one of the palace's most respected and powerful figures, Princess Anne. Known for her no-nonsense attitude and fierce loyalty to royal tradition, Anne has reportedly drawn a hard line against these changes. Sources describe her opposition as more than just polite disagreement. It is being called a royal blockade, a determined effort to stop Camilla's plans dead in their tracks. Anne's resistance has rattled the palace atmosphere. Some insiders say this clash between Camilla and Anne has created a quiet but significant power struggle behind closed doors, one that threatens to unravel carefully laid plans and shift alliances. The tension is palpable as two very different visions for the future of the royal family come head-to-head, one rooted in gradual change and family inclusion, the other anchored in preservation of tradition and strict royal protocol. As this quiet battle unfolds, those watching closely wonder what the outcome will mean not only for Camilla and her children, but for the royal family's inner dynamics. Camilla's ambitions face their toughest test. Will her plan secure her son's royal future, or will Anne's firm opposition end it before it begins? Let's uncover the decisive action that forced King Charles to abandon a risky plan to protect the monarchy's legacy. A ruthless royal move. Princess Anne has earned a fierce reputation in the royal family, often being called the enforcer, and for very good reasons. Unlike many who prefer to talk endlessly or get tangled in royal politics, Anne is known for cutting straight to the chase and taking real action. She's someone who doesn't just stand on the sidelines or play political games. She moves swiftly and decisively when she believes something important is at stake. This time, the stakes were high. After a private meeting with King Charles, Anne reportedly took an extraordinary step that shocked many within the royal circles. Instead of quietly accepting whatever plan was being pushed forward, she decided to rally support from some of the most powerful and influential people around her: senior royal advisors, trusted officials, and even Prince William himself. Her message was clear and firm. The late Queen Elizabeth's wishes must be honored, and certain dangerous paths must never be taken, especially when it came to who should officially be part of the top levels of the royal family. At the heart of the issue was the question of recognition and roles for Camilla's children within the monarchy's upper structure. Princess Anne reminded everyone that the royal family's traditions are not just about family ties, but about service, dedication, and legitimacy. The idea of giving formal royal roles or official recognition to non-working royals, especially those without direct blood connections to the crown, was a risky move that could cause lasting harm. To make her position crystal clear, Anne didn't just rely on private talks and informal warnings. She wrote a letter, but this was no ordinary letter. Sources close to the matter described it as devastatingly direct, a powerful and scathing appeal that left no room for misunderstanding. In this letter, Anne laid out the facts: the established royal rules, the potential damage to the public's trust in the monarchy, and the backlash that could erupt if such an unprecedented decision were made. The letter was a bold challenge to King Charles's plan. It wasn't just about sticking to tradition for tradition's sake. It was about protecting the integrity and future of the monarchy itself. Anne's words carried weight because she wasn't speaking from a place of personal grievance or politics. She spoke as a loyal daughter of the late Queen, as a guardian of royal principles, and as someone who truly understood the delicate balance that holds the royal family's public image together. Faced with such a united front and a clear, uncompromising message from Anne, Charles found himself in a difficult position. Despite his initial intentions, he had no choice but to step back and reconsider. The plan to give Camilla's children formal recognition was quietly dropped, without any public announcement, without fanfare, and further debate. This wasn't just a temporary pause or a delay. The decision was final. The plan was scrapped swiftly and permanently, erased as if it had never been. The royal family moved on, but the episode sent a strong message. Princess Anne's voice, in the royal circle, is not just heard. It is respected, feared, and decisive. She showed once again why she is the family's enforcer, the one who keeps the traditions alive and guards the monarchy against risky changes that could endanger its future. Princess Anne's bold stand reshaped the monarchy, proving some royal lines must never be crossed. But did she truly win? And how did she strengthen the royal legacy? Let's find out. Camilla's royal dream shattered. When Camilla finally learned what had happened, the news hit her like a thunderbolt. She was completely caught off guard, shocked beyond belief. Her feelings crashed over her all at once. Anger, heartbreak, and above everything else, a deep, gnawing fear. For years, Camilla had quietly nurtured a vision, a hope, that her family line would one day have a lasting respected place within the royal legacy. But now, that dream seemed to vanish into thin air. It wasn't just a gentle refusal or a polite dismissal. Anne had done much more than close the door on Camilla's ambitions. She slammed it shut and bolted it tight. It was a firm, unmistakable rejection. No halfway measures, no softening the blow. Behind the elegant, guarded walls of the palace, the tension boiled over. Camilla didn't hold back. In a private confrontation, she confronted King Charles, demanding to know how he could allow Anne to seize control like this. How could he stand by while his sister shut down Camilla's hopes so decisively? But Charles, known throughout the royal circles for his calm and desire to keep the peace, didn't meet her anger with anger. Instead, he said something that cut even deeper, a quiet but powerful statement. "She's doing what Mummy would have done." Those words struck Camilla harder than any formal snub ever could. It wasn't just a rejection from a rival or a sister-in-law, it was an echo of the late Queen's own will and standards. The message was clear. The monarchy's traditions and rules weren't something to bend for personal ambitions or family ties. Even the Queen's children by marriage were not exempt from this. Anne's actions were not merely personal. They were a firm reminder of what the royal institution stands for. Meanwhile, Tom Parker Bowles, Camilla's son, who had wisely kept a low profile over the years, found himself swept into the storm. Those close to him say he was embarrassed by the public drama that unfolded. The tension, the headlines, and the whispers were too much for someone who preferred a quieter life outside the royal spotlight. As a result, he quietly stepped even further away from royal affairs. Any hopes or rumors about him taking on a future official role in the monarchy were hushed, buried under the weight of the family conflict. Anne's bold move sent shockwaves through the palace and beyond. It was a statement that could not be ignored or misunderstood. The royal family was not a personal playground where anyone could rewrite the rules to suit their desires. It was, and must remain, a sacred institution, governed by traditions, duty, and respect for history. Camilla's shattered dreams served as a reminder to everyone watching. The monarchy is a fortress built over centuries, not a place for personal ambitions to run free. No matter who you are or how close you may be to the throne, the rules are clear and they are not to be broken. Anne's decisive action made that truth impossible to ignore. In the quiet aftermath, the palace walls seemed to echo with a message as old as the crown itself. Loyalty to the monarchy means honoring its past, respecting its customs, and accepting that the throne is bigger than any one individual's wishes. And in that moment, Camilla's hopes for a royal future were locked away behind a door that no key could open, at least not for now. So, what do you think about Princess Anne ending Camilla's son's royal future forever? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.